yeah, he didn't want to take a risk anymore with Galea. And then right now we see the second ban from Team Aurora is actually Yuzong. So
Ya,
we
kelas
seeing
untuk
more XP laner or roamer bans, or are we seeing jungler bans? Since we have no junglers, no mages right now banned up to this moment.
Until now, Aurora they are having a clean gameplay, and it's hard to break. During that gameplay, we saw it in the last game. It's hard to break, and it's cannot like there is no mistakes to play around. Like the FOG, they are trying to find any mistakes, but Aurora Gaming they are not letting any mistakes happen. They're trying to play a perfect game, like 18. It was a half.
Yeah, we have how many bans? Still no mage bans right now. Mid laner bans. We've seen. I think they will let the mages, stand out
Cina,
this game
Cina
probably
sama
their
Filipin.
clash in the mid lane mostly. But we're still
Ada
waiting
orang
for TNZ's
Indonesianya,
ban,
Superken.
third and last ban for the first ban phase.
Super.
Lancelot is open. Lapu Lapu is open. Alp is open. Boxer, Lunox,
Zushin.
Sushin.
Everyone's basically the meta picks actually are all open right now. We're seeing catch a man. So are we seeing Eve at the first pick, or are we seeing Lancelot? Man, okay, DFYG is going crazy right now. All right, which is something that I really like. Yeah. Oh, we're seeing a Chow
Superken
back.
dikasih Fanny.
Are we gonna see a Chow from Rosa, or are we seeing someone else?
If he choose a choke, I will see a different gameplay from before Aurora. Because choke with Aurora, it's a different play style. Because I saw it a lot in last tournament.
Yes, definitely. Actually, the only change his mind, he's probably might go for a Zushin, but Eve is still actually available. So they went for a Chow and a Zushin. They're letting Eve open for the FYG if they're actually planning to pick her. Do you think, soldiers, that they're going to pick Eve, or they might go for your main Cardinal?
They have three options. Luna, Eve, and Foster. But Foster against choke, you need to have a little respect.
Definitely, yes. And I believe if actually they went for Farsa, mostly the spell chosen as a Flicker 5, but no, they're going for Eve. Eve is actually such a great pick facing Chow and facing Zuchin. More card control from Eve compared to Farsa, so it is a good choice. We saw also Lapu Lapu. Lapu Lapu going to be the XP lane. So no, right now we have a roamer left for the FYP, and we have a gold laner. As for the last pick for TNZ, who is he going to pick?
The usage is open. Lancelot is open. For him.
Hayabusa is also open.
So there is a lot of jungles. They can
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. They might actually go for, I believe, most probably they might go for Hayabusa or Lancelot, or stick to Yisun Shin. But no, they're not showing their cards right now. They're not showing their jungler pick, so they just went for Esmeralda to face Lapu Lapu in the XP lane. And right now we are in the second ban phase. Who do you think we're going to see get banned? Since we have already
Ramai ini guys.
an XP laner taken and a mage taken.
for me use they will not like since we have many the lane go tomorrow. We have Rock Star and Pilot was annoying last game. I saw it.
Immediately, man. Immediately. They didn't even wait for 1 second. They bet Lancelot immediately.
It's a common sense for Aurora and the FYG. They are like mirroring each pick.
Dibantu
If I will show
satu.
my cards, it's they can counter it easy. So
Di
no
sini
problem.
kita
We will try to force junglers back for the phase 2, and we will choose junglers for the last 2 picks. So no issues for us. Because junglers, maybe like you can't say it important in the game that he can control the map, he can roam with a robot, and he can gank also. So he can control the map, and he can give an advantage for his team by objective and towers.
We're also like, we might see Guinevere as a roamer as well.
Ciao,
So,
ciao.
this is going to be
Kalau
interesting
lihat
for Guinevere since she has very high mobility.
Trip.
Even though it's always the bit. In paper, I would say Aurora, but the
Draftnya pada Aura.
I like
Same. Yeah.
that part.
Yeah, their lineup is very interesting. They're taking a lot of gambles. Aurora is playing it more safe than actually risky. But they have great picks as well. So let's see. Wish them all the best.
Yeah, I think that's all from our analysts. So one team looking to close it out clean, the other fighting to stay alive. Let's throw it over to our casters to bring you game 2 between Aurora Gaming PH and DFYG. Casters, take it away.
Thank you so much, panel. Once again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be nice you joined here with Wolf. We're in game 2 of this best of 3 right now.
Oh, njaluk januk kaya
Match
kancaku.
point for Aurora game.
Sisan njaluk setting akeh.
And for DFYG, they're going to have to make this work and get a win here to extend the series. Otherwise, they will be done here for games in the future, 2025 and Abu Dhabi. Now, Wolf, I know we were talking about this on our own here while the panel is doing their discussion. This is such an interesting draft at Aurora Rob, man. Like, they swerved it. They swerved it at the last second, too. And I think, again, we always talk about flexibility when it comes to the draft. This is a gold lane Cho in the hands of Sigiboo. And they switched it here because we saw that in the earlier. Whoa, he's actually quite low. Okay, this is going to be a tough lane, by the way. That's why I wanted to highlight this, Wolf, because a gold lane Cho versus a Claude.
Alright, so that's a lot of time that people will not have, and even Superken is threatening for this one.
Lanang kono.
It's gonna be just a war of attrition between two jugglers, and Superken wins, and that is the crapper that he was able to steal, but yet he will have the retribution for the gold card. So, arguable got better off the trades. Mago will have to help Sigiboo up top so that they will not be gapped that badly. No, actually, this is on the other finger out there, so it's the end of that crash. We're talking about the Cho. If the Cho is in the room, it is usually played in the defense. You can always see it every single time there's a movement. But if you're a golden Cho, there is this approach where you can be that split pusher, and then you come in with the fight sword, almost blind, you get a pick off, you look for perhaps the clone or maybe the Fanny, and in the macro battle, you are the hero that can actually chase the Fanny around because of how easy it is for you to hit. So I think it's a general idea when I think of the project. Now said that is the Greedy Bird that is actually being played as the robot.
Yeah, it's really interesting again how some of the drafts, you might see some similar heroes, but again, the ones that are flexible, that you can kind of interchange throughout the roles are what teams like to go for, especially in these more of like these high stakes, these high stakes matches where you are facing a match point for specifically for DFYG. And the Guinevere Roam can work. We've seen it work many times. We've seen it in the jungle. We've seen it in the Roam. And for this most part, again, this was a first pick priority Fanny for Superken. They grabbed it right away. And so even then, you're leading into that comfort for Superken, but it's also risky. It can be risky. It doesn't matter who you are as a Fanny player. You know it's going to be a risk for the team to make it work. And there's a certain type of execution that comes with that. If you fall behind, if you get an advantage throughout the course of this game, then the rest of the team has to do. But I would say for the most part, this is all still very comfort also around the board. E1 once again on the eve. And then, we've seen Zed play this Guinevere in the Roam before, Vel as well with Lapu, who's a mainstay in the XP lane. So there's a lot of great opportunity here for DFYG to make this work. And the fact that that first turtle basically went uncontested and it wasn't fought for is fine because, again, for this whole lineup to work for DFYG, if they can get pickoffs around the Guinevere early on, great. If not, as Lung gets kicked there, if Lung will be online eventually.
Zed is in trouble. taken out. That's the first blood. Superken has to run away from this one. The Fanny will not be able to get away from Rosa's grasp. And that is going to be 2 kills for the Jushin and 1,000 gold for Aurora Gaming. What a start.
Big start already. Rosa with the Jushin, probably the most picked if it's open.
Yep.
Maybe aside from the Farsa right now, currently, just in the current meta, but also here are the games of the future. And you, such a utility mage, you get an early start with it, you're going to scale up even better than you normally would. But even that nice little dodge there, make sure he doesn't get spatial migration. So he's going to be fine. But again, even using that beacon, look for the turtle.
Oh, fell.
Mata,
Gets it.
betul.
Actually forces Kenzie out. No retribution, no problem. Now Superken wants round number 2 in the mid lane. Quickly learns that he has to just get out of there as the damage coming up for is just too overwhelming for him. Whereas JYG up top, Long is just taking out Booming. Tapos Pago, sige mo might have overstayed his welcome. Does have to purify and will pop the ultimate down. Pago in trouble, Pago down. Rosa gets in front of Long this time. We will be taken out as well. TNC, Constellation tries to take on the rover of DFYG, but Aurora Gaming have challenged this pro who has been freely farming up top, only to feed him with 2 kills.
I gotta say that was like a chess game right there, man. Up top, you see Sigaboom take a ton of hits just from the auto attacks from Lung. They try to set something up there, but then Zed was there to help Lung, and then it just kind of turned into just a trade, you know. But yeah, you mentioned this. You get a kill on Lung. He needs that for the Con to go ahead and scale up faster here, you know. And I'm wondering what Sigaboom is actually going to build on this Cho, just because we don't see the Gold Lane Cho picked up too often. Like it's so rare to see it. I know right now he's got the War Axe. I just wonder through the course of this game what kind of build path he's going to go. Is it going to be more defensive? Is it going to be that pure hybrid? We know, you know, hey, there's some risky players that'll go damage, right? But in this case, you don't want to do that, obviously, against the Claude when it's across from you. So for the rest of Aurora Gaming's lineup, it's still relatively even across the board, nothing too crazy. I'm still surprised. Oh, he won. As soon as he got the Sky Cruiser.
Next stuns. Now it's even going to be the trade. Pago wants to go for a kill up to Zed. Zed cracking a little bit for now, but eventually will fall because CNC to even get that kill.
Another stack.
Another stack for the killing spree. Just as he hits it, he gets 2 kills. Oh man, what a dream scenario for TNC. That doesn't really save them yet. This game as Superken and the gang, they were able to take out the show. Lunar is going to be able to defend bottom lane, all the way on Saturday, TNT.
Fanny-nya nggak main.
Retribution is available for Superken. In fact, he has a level advantage over TNT. And that means that they will just take it. Seems like Superken is not even interested in that, especially because 4 members of Aurora Gaming are already positioned around the turtle.
Yeah, they knew they had that too. You know, this is going to be actually of concern though for DFYG. That TNT is getting these stacks pretty easily right now. You know, and Aurora Gaming is actually feeding them to him if they get the opportunity to. Another turret's gonna fall, so they work on their first turret. They get that down in the bottom lane for Aurora Gaming after getting that last turtle of the game. Now in this case, like I said, DFYG, they have plenty of grounds to cover. They're not, you know, they're not far behind by any means at all. And as long as, once again, they can contest into the objective, the Lord, once it comes up in about 1 minute and 10, they should be there. DHS is now locked in for Lung. He should, does he have the 3 items? He can deal with pressure here, though.
Let's have the Purify for now. 3 members of Aurora Gaming is going to be enough. It'll be a little bit too late onto that Purify. Rosa is going to be the exchange. Aurora going to be very happy about this, especially if they do spark it onto Bell, which will be the case. A mega kill for
Teasernya berapa itu?
Another stack that's 3 in a row. Maybe the consolation prize is the mid lane. Seems like it's not going to be the case. Superken, the damage is not enough. Oh my goodness, Aurora Gaming have found so many wins across the map.
Yeah, it's just all over, you know, and it's too bad they didn't get that turret down at least in mid. It's nearly there, so maybe just getting that 1 hit. But, you know, for the most part, it's troublesome for Aurora Gaming to continue to go ahead and get these stacks for DFYG. That's where the trouble basically lies, because you're going to see TNZ now that he's got these stacks and he's got, you know, his scaling is where he needs to be, plus the Warcry emblem. he can actually just dive into these turrets and these setups if they find them. And that's what's going to kind of, that's exactly what I was talking about. Oh my goodness.
Oh, immediate burst. TNT. Oh, we jinxed it, man, because we were so shocked about the damage output of TNT and how quickly low melted out there. DFYG weren't able to protect their Claude, and even without the retribution, seems like Aurora Gaming are not gonna be phased when it comes to controlling this Lord because they know they are in a massive advantage. Superken pull off a miracle here. It seems like they're not even interested now. They're not even contesting this Lord, despite them knowing that TNT committed the retribution.
Everyone's been or has seen a stacked up Hayabusa. Whether you've played against it or it's been on your team, it is a menace, basically, right? And TNZ, he's been basically unleashed. He's been able to go ahead and do a whole lot throughout this game, 10 minutes in. And this is where also that transition kind of happens now. Like, he is such a big threat with the Shadow Kill alone. Like this, even if they decide, okay, Rosa dies, okay, he chooses not to go in, which is better because they want to play into this Lord push. Rosa does die. That's what I was going to say, though. I was waiting for to see Superken get value out of this Fanny pick. I know for the majority, because of the nature of this game, he's been kind of forced to just stay in these off lanes and push.
Open top. Oh. Gold there. Common. Like Shira ke.
Boom down bot.
People just thinking of you has reached that status where all he needs to do is to just split the map with his choice.
Terus ngombe gede kue man. Dulunya terus kepes gini terus ngombe gede.
They will control cannon. Superken is down.
Another kill.
Oh my god, this is not dangerous, guys, but with that play coming up from CB Boom, you might as well be traumatized from that. Now Zen will have to come. Here is Flicker, but it's not gonna be enough.
One.
Okay, yep. TNT with the Godlight Swing 7-0 and 2 Bell. In the middle of 5 members of Aurora Gaming will be getting out, fortunately for
Ih,
some
kuna
there
to,
are
ano
no
po?
minions left in the mid lane. But Aurora Gaming, they're pressing the attack now. They want to get this purple buff. Get it. Bell wants to go for the exchange, but the pick from Sneaky Boom and the pushback from Blanco, they're avoiding Bell. Oh my goodness, Aurora Gaming are kiting this level. This is so difficult to deal with if you're DFYG.
Man, this is probably the most frustrated I feel like a Lapu would be. You know, you're trying to jump in, trying to initiate a fight with the bravest fighter, and you just get kicked. Like, imagine how that feels, how that looks. Yeah, you're supposed to set things up, right? But that whole combination we see so much with Lapu, but with Boom on this show, he's able to just kind of stop that in his tracks. Whoa!
Okay, explosions into the mid lane now. For a while, DFYG are surviving. In fact, they were able to run the Eve ultimate, but Zen is going to be the first one to drop. Aurora Gaming escapes the zone of DFYG. TNC wants to go for Superken. Oh, the shurikens are enough. A double.
That's that Sky Piercer.
For TNC, 9-0 and 2.
Scared sebagai ngabis.
A dream game for
That's
a
the dream.
Hayabusa.
That's a dream game for a Hayabusa. That's a dream game for a Sky Piercer. So you're going to go for more.
Boom wants to go for that kick. Finds it, but not continue because long is going to be a problem. But of course, they will give it to the Hayabusa this time. 10-0 and 2 for TNZ on this Hayabusa. How many stacks does he have right now? I think he's maxed out. It probably is maxed out.
Yeah, he's maxed. I was going to say, like, again, as soon as he bought that Sky Piercer, value right away. Got kills right as he bought it. So it's max stacks now. TNZ, like, that's why I was saying it's going to be a problem. It's troublesome for DFYG. Zed's going to go for a setup, but this is Siggy Boom. I don't think you're going to be able to do much at all. Good use of the beacon defensively to keep them from going further. And this is, once again, just an objective that's going to go in the hands of Aurora Gaming. In this case, Wolf, you know, when you're facing against a fully stacked Sky Piercer, this actually changes your approach to these team fights too. Because of you're aware of it, but even regardless of that, the way that Pagu has been playing is what I exactly said in last game. He's so aggressive with it. You know, him and Lunar is more so, playing a standard Esmeralda game for the most part. it's pretty difficult to kill an Esmeralda, but Pagu is making those plays, cutting them off in between turrets, utilizing the fist crack combination, fist break combination with that flicker if he has to. It's almost up again, so potentially he's going to force a fight and make DFYG actually respond to this as the Lord slowly makes its way down the bottom. They're trying to hold on to this mid turret. You got some waves being cut up by Superken up top. So he's done what he can to delay this a little bit more, see if they can stay in the game here. Over that 14-minute mark, they'll try to clear out this Lord. See what they do. Superken's still cutting those waves. But again, Pagu, keep an eye out for him. If he decides to fight, he's got immortality as well. So that base turret being worked on, Superken will take their purple buff. But these next waves are going to be pushing in here. This base turret will go down.
Oh, there's the flicker, but the pick is not on the mark. Game ultimate. And a prompt Aurora Gaming to receive so much damage. A little bit of a oopsie coming out from Sigibu. But Aurora Gaming, they have still achieved their mission. They are taking out the turret down the bottom lane. Pagu, the ultimate, just gone with members DFYG. Will not pay the price as he flickers out of there. That should be it for DFYG, especially because TNZ, the threat of the Hayabusa, is looming just around the corner. We'll have to clear the minion wave in the middle. Aurora Gaming will just be happy with one turret taken down. It's an inhibitor of DFYG in the bottom.
Yeah, usually off that first Lord, you know, finally that tier 1 turret goes down, by the way. Superken swings on in there, gets that down. They needed that, and it's, you know, it's such a small thing that mid-tier turret does help. TNZ.
Oh, that's the beacon. That's why it was used now. Bell is going to drop. That is TNZ. Number 11 for himself. Yiv with the ultimate. They will just run away from that, but in comes the kick. Immortality is available for Zed, but I doubt that he will survive this. And that's a legendary.
This has to be
from tier 2.
This has to be one of the best KDAs in Games of the Future right now. 12-0-2.
For sure.
TNZ just, again, having a time of his life. And it could have been that way. It could have gone either way for either a Fanny or a Hayabusa. It just so happened that TNZ and the rest of the composition here really allowed him to shine, whereas more Superken really had to play the map. You know, he had to go ahead and focus on the side lanes, essentially. But there's been really no fight for the objective. It's every objective, every turtle for the most part, and then the Lords are pretty much just for Aurora Gaming to take.
Yeah. Aurora Gaming, I doubt they will give this up. TFYG are not in position, maybe a steal, but Aurora Gaming are getting the Lord very, very quickly. Zed far too late, might be punished. There's the ultimate. Now they will take out Zed just like that. Sigibu wants to go for a pickup, but find it for now. Such a calm take for Aurora Gaming. Zed trying to go for and just, you know, some sort of vision, some sort of optics around the Lord, but was quickly not punished. The ultimate coming up from Lunar. The Aurora Gaming are just prepping up for a possible ending push. Can this malefic gun from Nong make it for DFYG? We're about to find out. Superken trying to go for some clearing out from top. But now, Aurora Gaming are waiting for the Lord.
With their lineup, they should be able to defend this, though. I know they're down 7,000 unless it goes bad with this team fight.
Oh, see people getting punished. Really down for the count. The Joe is down. The Aurora Gaming. All of their minion waves up top and in the middle were cleared out. The bottom lane with the Lord is also getting cleared out here. Just that one jump coming up from Seafood that did not get any hit. It's gonna be enough. Superken. Gotta be careful with this. All DFYG are on the aggressive now. They want to make a play. And that's going to be the Aurora Gaming to just sit down and wait.
That's what I was saying. Well, you know, with the lineup that they have, DFYG, they should be able to survive. You know, even a couple of these, maybe one more Lord push if they decide to. Could see that Lord over for the next one. I don't think they would want to, just because essentially, yeah, it's going to be an evolved. But you're seeing it. You know, they're able to go ahead and fight back. They're getting into that form where they're able to. You've got pretty much the items that you need, especially on low. He is a big damage dealer here alongside E1. E1 even having a little bit of defense there with the Winter Crown now, but, you know, Zed picking up an antique Karaz, so jumps in.
the whole plan out there, and they take out the rest. Looks like that's not gonna be the case because the start from Sticky Boom stops Bell and the entirety of the FYG. Sticky Boom is gonna pick off onto the bottom lane. Superken. This gonna be the plan for the show. The stun and the kick will be there. Damage not nearly enough.
Well, they might
punch with the FYG. The sandwich is there. Bell. Oh, misses the initial stun. They push the bottom lane. Sticky Boom just pushes them back. In comes the ultimate, the shadow kill. At this point, with 4 members tanking it, there's not going to be enough. The FYG live to see another set of minutes here. As Aurora Gaming's attempt onto the bottom lane was not going to be enough.
Well, that's all they had to do. DFYG is just going through the checklist here. They had to make sure that they were able to defend. They did that. Now they're actually in a contest period where they can actually go ahead and contest this Lord. It's an evolved one. If they somehow secure this, that's going to be massive for them to start knocking down some of the tier 2 turrets. Oh,
they have isolated one. That's going to be bad. Room mortality is going to be up. Bell wants to secure this kill, wants to finish the jump, gets the flicker on, and the Raven's Spiker, yes he can. Now it comes Rosa with the beat, and Bell is going to be traded out because of that. Rosa just handles the rest of the FYG. It comes the Fanny, one of Winter Cup, but the evil ultimate is going to lock it down. Rosa out. Sticky Boom looking for an angle with his jaw, prepping up the Jeep Kundo. Doesn't have the flicker for now, and he's going to be bound by the members of the FYG. The kick is not nearly enough as he's getting punished. Now Lunar might be next on the docket. The FYG have found the 3 kills, man. And can Lunar get away from this? Seems like that's not the target anymore for the FYG. Although he's going to put this Lord low, but Tienzi is still alive and Retribution is still up. Sure, you want to do this to FYG.
This is a huge risk. I mean, Superken dealt with wave. He's going to make it back up here. Lord's at a quarter of the health. Lunar as well has to get away.
It's the purify for now. Tienzi goes for the backlash with Winter Crown. Oh, he wanted to punish. The mortality getting picked up. It's going to be the Winter Crown. Can they take him out? That's 14 kills and they can shut down. Tienzi runs away. It's not going to be enough. Tienzi goes down. The punish, the shutdown, oh my goodness, and the Lord on top of it.
They did it. DFYG has taken the lead back in their favor with this Lord. It's an evolved one. The lead that Aurora Gaming has held on to for literally the entire game is now gone. Tienzi still a little bit away to be back up, but they got to deal with this Lord. It's an evolved one pushing in, and DFYG is in a position to force a fight.
Oh, the Fanny overshoots.
Terus
But
dia
that's just
naga
for
tuh
poking into
tempat
the ultimate.
mantap.
And the gap, they will get out. The Pico just to get away from there, but the base in shambles. Magu down for the Carosa as well. With no Hayabusa to defend. DFYG mounts the comeback. Now we are going to game 3.
DFYG has to be happy about that. Again, facing a fully stacked Tienzi Hayabusa, and they stay calm and collected